We're back down in Christchurch with Isaac Construction in its McLean's Island quarry testing out another of its trucks. We were here 2 years ago testing its Iveco Tracker road truck, and today's test vehicle, an Iveco Astra 8x6 dump truck, has quite a bit of that truck's DNA. We have a history of testing Iveco quarry trucks, having also done a big test of an Iveco Tracker 6x6 in the Nightcaps coal mine back in 2012. This one, though, is completely different. That truck was effectively a road truck converted into an all-wheel drive quarry truck, whereas this Astra 8x6 is purpose-built for this environment. Today, Trevor and son Hayden are tag teaming on this big test due to Trevor's slow recovery from recent surgery. Visiting Isaac's is always an eye-opener, the place resembling a nature park rather than a working quarry with its salmon ponds and an immaculate quarry floor. We start out the test carrying from the quarry face to the screening plant, where the one-time river rock is sorted into its various sizes, and various grades of fine are removed. It's a very flat run, so we won't be climbing any massive hills today. The climb up into the cab starts with a very high bottom step, not unexpected in this type of truck. This, however, is offset by some very good grab handles that give 3 good points of contact throughout the climb. One particularly good grab handle that's been retrofitted by Isaac's is on the guard of the front steer axle. An extremely wide opening door also aids access. Inside, the interior is very much like a road truck with a familiar Iveco type dash and a comfortable suspension seat. At first glance, the pedals look tightly packed with the steering pillar pushing them over to the right, but in use there is no issue. It's easy to get comfortable with a pedal activated steering column adjustment, allowing a very good range of movement. However, we do find that the large steering wheel does impair the view of the dash. Otherwise, from up here the view is great. Although, like any cab over, there is a bit of a blind spot down to the front, exaggerated by the extra height of this beast. Mirrors are very much from the Iveco road truck, with a large lower flat mirror and upper convex mirror, all housed in a tidy surround. All mirrors are manually adjusted, not electric. We pull away empty after tipping off our load at the screening plant for the short run back to the quarry face, probably just over a kilometre away. Even empty, the ride is extremely smooth, with an almost floating sensation. The Cursor 13-litre engine, rated at 540 horsepower and hooked up to the ZF 16-speed AMT, delivers smooth, quick acceleration with very smooth shifts. At the quarry face, we're loaded using Isaac's very quick V-loading process. One thing driver Tom McGovern points out here is that a rear vision camera would be advantageous during this manoeuvre to give a better idea of positioning in relation to the quarry face. We're now fully loaded with an all-up weight around 50 tonne, but it's hardly even noticeable as we drive up out of the quarry pit. Putting it into perspective, the quarry floor is probably less than 10 metres deep. It's got to be one of the easiest quarrying operations you'll see anywhere, with only about 2 metres of overburden to be removed from a flat paddock to expose the deep layer of river shingle. The drive back to the screening plant is along very well-formed roads with a good, even, hard surface, so traction and ride is never an issue. Fully loaded, the Astra's ride gets even better with a combination of the large construction tyres, the cab suspension and air suspension seat ensuring there is no road effect up through the cab. Tipping off is extremely easy with a dash-mounted button for the PTO and a lever down to the left of the driver. Once tipping starts, the tailgate locks automatically disengage. The only downside is that the tipping lever is not lockable in the tip position, so you need to hold it back throughout the tip, but this is probably a safety feature. Also, on dropping the bin, the lever has to be held forward. It's very quick with a fast ram speed both up and down. After tipping off, we head down to the screening plant to pick up boulders and move them over to the crushing plant. During the loading of the boulders into the steel body, Tom issues a warning to block our ears. Probably jokingly, as in the cab there's hardly any noise from the operation. This truck is an experiment by Isaac's to see how the rigid 8x6 shapes up against the traditional ADTs, and at present it's looking very promising. Quarry manager Adam Waite reckons that with 2 of these Astras, he'd be able to significantly reduce the time needed to keep the screening plant fed. Tom's certainly enjoying the added comfort and smooth operation of the ADTs, and from what we've seen, it will be very interesting to come back to Isaac's in the future to see how the long-term evaluation of the Astra works out.